Clearly, it is time to clean my saw blade. Oh, hey internet, Matt at Overkill Woodcraft. What do you do? Do you clean your saw blades or do you toss them? Or do you have really expensive blades that you send off to get professionally sharpened? Me personally, that last option isn't really for me, and that's mainly because I don't want to be without the saw blade while it's out getting sharpened. Also, while I mainly work with plywood, occasionally I do work with reclaimed lumber, and no matter how many times I check for nails, sometimes there's still one hit in there. It'll hit a tooth, ruin it, and ruin the blade, and then there's like 150 bucks down the drain. So I choose to clean my blades. I usually get 4 to 6 cleanings out of them before they just start getting a little too dull, and I feel like they're not performing as well as they should. So that's what I'm going to run you through today is kind of my process, but I figured I would spice things up a little bit and do 3 comparisons. One of this blade, which I have in here right now, and that's a extremely dirty 80 tooth blade. 2, how this blade performs after I clean it. And then 3, how a brand new version of this blade performs. Quick heads up first, the Home Depot did approach me and asked if I wanted to be a part of their prospective campaign with Diablo tools. And that was a no-brainer for me because I've been using their blades for about 4 years, ever since going full-time. And while I have some other brands, they always seem to be the main brand that I lean towards. And then while I'll discuss a couple of different ways to go about cleaning your blades, for this video, I'll be using the new blade and bit cleaning system from Microjig. They also sent that to me, but there was no strings attached, and I've just quickly fallen in love with it because it saves me a ton of time compared to how I used to clean my blades. So with that being said, we're going to hop right into it. I'm going to get you a close-up of this blade and show you just how dirty it is. So as you can see, it's pretty gunked up here. All of this buildup is what's going to cause that marring and those black marks and, just generally speaking, cuts that aren't as clean as they should be. So I'm going to run through a cut with this blade and show you just how well it performs. First cut, old and dirty blade. Definitely some marking here. For the most part, really not that bad of an edge, though. Would be cleaned up pretty easily, but could definitely be improved. So let's go ahead and clean this blade and then run through the next cut. So here's that new blade and bit cleaning system that I mentioned earlier. Really simple to use. Comes with this awesome magnet handle for attaching that to the blade. Then on top here, side note, you're able to clean your router bits with this as well. As you can see, it has different diameters for different shank sizes. And it comes with extra abrasive cleaning pads that you can attach to a Dremel for that. Just going to undo my latches, set that aside, and then you can see the abrasive pad down here. I got used to using this pretty early on. It does an awesome job at, getting everything off those carbide teeth. Just going to dump a bunch in here. What I really like about the Simple Green, the concentrated version, is that you can just reuse it afterwards. So I've got that in here. Just make sure my pad is nice and soaked. And now I'm going to take my dirty blade, just set it down, give it a couple turns. It's crazy how quickly that works. Before this, I would take, like many other people, I would just take a bin. A lot of people use a 5-gallon bucket lid, and I'd put my Simple Green in there, and I just have to scrub each and every tooth. And it can definitely be a little tedious trying to get in there. So yeah, just knocked out one side in like 5 seconds. Now I'm just going to flip it over, hit the other side. Literally that quick. I'm going to get you a close-up of this. As you can see, that blade is looking pretty much brand new. Now, this isn't a flathead blade, of course, but and they're not very dirty, but you can also take this and clean the top of your teeth like that as well. Yeah, we're good to go. So now I'm just going to hose this down real quick, pat it dry, and put some protectant on there. So now that this is good and dry, I'll go ahead and put it back on the table saw, and I'll run through the next comparison of the old and clean blade. Old and clean. Old and dirty. Some slight improvements with old and clean. I mean, like I said, that blade's pretty old, but I'm still completely fine with these results. And, you know, I think my edge is a little bit cleaner here on the old and clean compared to the old and dirty. So I'll call that a win. But let's open up a new blade and see how that does. Out with the old and with the new. So of course I wasn't filming when I cut this piece in half for the first cut, but that's all right. We're going to cut it again, and I'm going to show you how this one compares, the brand new blade. Well, pretty sure we all knew that the brand new cut was going to be, you know, the cleanest, but that isn't too much smoother than the old blade after cleaning it. Obviously, there's a little bit less burning on here, and it is worth noting that my table saw is underpowered right now because I need to get a 20 amp breaker put in. So there you have it, a quick comparison of the three. Were the differences huge? No, not necessarily. I guess it kind of depends on what your outlook is. For me, I mean, yeah, I definitely needed to give that blade a cleaning for sure. But honestly, after this, I'm going to take my brand new blade out of here, tuck it away in storage, and put the old one that I just cleaned on there and use it for a little while longer because this is completely acceptable to me. I'm not going to make a commission out of plywood and not put edge banding on it. So all of that's going to get smoothed out during my edge banding process anyways. And if this were hardwood instead, any minor burning marks are going to get sanded right off during the finishing process. So again, it really just kind of depends on what your outlook is. My whole thing is woodworking can be expensive, even if it's just a hobby. And I try not to be a wasteful person in general. Not saying I'm perfect, but if I can cut down on material cost or tools or blade replacement cost just by quickly cleaning it, then that's absolutely what I'm going to do. And while this wasn't meant to be some sort of totally scientific breakdown and experiment, I hope you found it helpful just to kind of see that cleaning a blade does make a difference, and it can still perform almost as well as a brand new blade. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.